Let's see how we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the semi-finals of the Escape Champions League. We are in match set 1. This will determine our final outcome of what we're going to see in the finals. I'm here with Nilford, probably one of the most experienced players and casters on the entire casting team at the moment. In the south of the map, in the green, we do have Liereyy playing as the Huns. I'm going to throw it over to Nilford to introduce our blue player for tonight.
And we are looking into Vivi here, playing the Huns as well. Both players going for scouts. We are jumping a bit late into this game, but as you can see, very little losses. The map is Cross.
Cross, one of my favorite maps overall in the series. The pool has been great. As far as Escape Champions League goes, it has been broken up into a civ pool that the players can choose from. Essentially, they had Baltic, Scandinavia, Arena, Cross, Acropolis, Budapest, and Valley. Players essentially got to pick maps from there. It is a best of 5 in the semis at the moment, so being able to see exactly how this goes down, exactly what we want to see.
Yeah, sweet stuff. And, well, we see Liereyy going for some sneak around here. Wanted to dock the top-hand side villager there. Small engagement there in the center. Villagers trying to help out. Looks like a better fight for Vivi here.
Oh, I completely agree. A couple of villagers there in the fray as well for Liereyy getting delayed. Tried to get down some palisades for a little bit more defense, but Vivi doing a great job. Walls coming up as well, which is to be expected in this match, mostly because we're in the semis here. Players are here to win. This is what it comes down to. They love playing without walls when it comes to normal games, just because it makes it a lot more intense. But in this, there's money up for grabs, man. There's points for teams. They want these walls. They want to go for it here.
Absolutely.
Oh, I just heard a villager.
Indeed, the villager just died there. It feels like the spearman helping out there quite a bit. Let's take a look at overall pawn control, shall we? At the south, it's Liereyy having quite a bit of fishing ship. Right-hand side, he is at 4 as well. And on the side of Vivi, well, he has the pawn in the north, but not the one at the left-hand side.
Interesting. It looks like we did see a villager try and come down from Vivi there. We can see the remains of some palisades. Potentially trying to get over there, dock, get rid of those fish as much as possible. But like you said, Liereyy at the moment way ahead in the fish count. He's actually got 13 fishing ships compared to the 9 of Vivi. So looking pretty good there when it comes to eco. Liereyy choosing some good engagements as well. Did manage to snag that villager towards the top, or I should say lose that villager. But, you know, he's trying to get aggressive, trying to make something happen, which is always nice to see.
Indeed, trying to make something happen, and he feared the scouts coming around Vivi now with bloodlines even, but Liereyy walling off his woodlines. Shouldn't take too heavy losses there with the 2 spearmen, or, well, we will see.
Oh, no, a good sneaky poke there. This is really what we want to be seeing in this game, because as soon as you kind of fall behind, players, like I said, they're playing it safe here. They want to try and do the damage where they can, negate any damage to themselves. Getting in the back there, just poking, prodding, getting a little bit of idle time, trying to get that sneaky Vil kill whenever they can is what we want to see. But it looks like Lierey's actually gotten through into the woodline of Vivi here. There's one villager down, going to potentially get a second as well. And of course, does have bloodline on those scouts, so not as scared of the spearman as well.
Well, he should be somewhat scared of the spearman. 2 of his scouts had only 2 HP. Well, now got one got fought off, and it looks like 2 villagers will go down in exchange to 2 scouts.
What do you think? Worth the trade? I like to think it's worth the trade.
I think so as well. Those scouts won't really do much in the long run. Liereyy now up to Castle H as well, or at least he clicked up. So we'll transition into even stronger units pretty soon.
That's it. Once we kind of hit the Castle Age, scouts become outdated very, very quickly. We get units like Pikes that just deal with them so quickly. Knights essentially completely outrank them when it comes to hit points, armor, output. The only thing scouts really have going on is the fact they only cost food, which, look, it works out pretty well depending on your eco setup, especially on a map like Cross, where you can get a lot of fishing ships out overall. So you can support that. They work as a good bulk unit. But once Knights are in play, like this, they run the show.
Absolutely, Knight's such a strong unit, incredible mobility, also a lot of damage output, but let's see, players are more going into the archer attack here. Liereyy, although he is up to the castle edge, still continuing to produce some skirmishers and scouts.
Interesting, interesting. It's a good kind of combination to deal with the archers, of course. As soon as the scouts get on top of his skirmishers, he's in trouble. But I guess that's why he's keeping the scout amount up. It just means he's got that bulk to kind of put between. Then he can use those skirmishers to soak up the archers like he's done now. The scouts are just taking the damage from all of those archers and just tanking it overall. This is a fantastic play and just engagement there from Liereyy, actually.
Incredible play, and that was kind of an all-in there of Vivi. He is stuck at 200 food, 200 gold there, going for more production here in Feudal Age. Tried to make it happen, even aggressive tower there, but he got smashed down.
Oh, there's the Castle Age for Liereyy as well. That's looking dangerous, and there we go.
Well, that was obviously a pretty fast-paced game here for us, since we didn't have the first 10 minutes to, get really into the feeling here. But Liereyy, with more fishing ship, more food there, nice defense, was pretty cost-efficient, was 10 villagers behind, but now with an incredible tech advantage.
Oh man, that was intense jumping in halfway through. Oh, I loved it so much. I'm keen for the next one, but I agree. Liereyy there seemed like he took control very early in Feudal Age, managed to kind of use those resources that he'd built up to keep the pressure on, and Vivi was just trying to make something happen with the engagements overall, but that end fight there, Liereyy just kind of soaked up the damage, dealt the damage back, and then just moved out against it. Had Castle Age to back it up behind that as well, so access to his siege, stronger units that basically lay waste to a feudal army. So overall, I would say I'm not surprised if Vivi did choose to kind of GG out there.
Yeah, the GG was absolutely justified. It just felt those scouts running in, and, well, it felt like Vivi couldn't really do the damage. He had more upgrades. Look at those scouts. Bloodlands, +1/+1. Liereyy, not having any of that, but still taking the better fights. KD, 30-18.
And see, that's what you want to see, and it's what makes a good player. Picking those engagements, even though he had the lower tech there, making sure he was only taking engagements he was ahead in by a significant amount, man, that tech difference didn't make, I guess, the biggest difference, I should say, in the game overall. He just had the bulk there to be able to soak that damage, deal the damage back. Even though he did lose out on those upgrades, he was up to Castle Age earlier. It meant he was in a good position to kind of just throw some knights in, get some siege in there, make a huge difference overall.
Let's take a look at the stats then. KD, indeed, the big thing for Liereyy. Had the better eco, 1k more food. That was the fishing ship carrying him. Obviously, Hans, so sweet to go for the boom there. And, well, he was behind him, but just lost quite a bit there. But still, he made it happen.
Which is turning into my favorite Age of Empires phrase at the moment. Needs to make something happen. Let's make something happen. Otherwise, that's what it's about. Like I was saying before, if you fall behind, you kind of just can't play normally. If you play normally, you're going to stay behind, right? You want to pull something out of the box, do something special, do something a little bit interesting to try and kind of get around there. So that way you can actually pull that score back. Because playing standards, what a lot of players do, once you kind of get ahead, I'm not sure if you would agree with this, it's easy to play standard and kind of just maintain your lead. Whereas if both players take that kind of angle, if you're behind, you sit behind. That's it.
And people have gotten so much better there. You know, in the old days, people felt like, okay, I'm ahead, let me just finish the game, and we have seen more throws. But people got so much sharper and just know how to really get small advantages into bigger advantages into W's at the end.
Exactly, mate. Exactly. And the more, I guess even now, how good players have become. You're even saying it before, 1600s are using split micro. They're using all these extra techniques that we didn't see years and years ago. That honestly, split micro and things like that didn't come around for a couple of years. And I'm trying to remember here, but I know it was quite popular in galley micro overall. And that's been probably quite big the last 3 or so years. Agree or disagree there? Feel free to disagree.
Well, we obviously had like kind of the invention there of the new tyrants with the split micro there with the galleys. Then a lot of change since we had fire galleys all of a sudden, and that changed the micro completely again.
Yeah, so it's interesting seeing kind of how the player level in generally, the floor on that is open so much. But it looks like we're launching in. Let's do this one.
Okay, my body is ready. Not sure, should we spec ourselves? Or is that not important?
Not important, apparently.
Apparently.
Unless we're playing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Escape Champions League. We are in Game 2 of the semi-finals. We have Liereyy versus Vivi. On the east side of the map, in the green, playing as the Slavs, we do have Liereyy.
And on the left-hand side, which is the best, we have Mr. Vivi here, playing with Magios. Both kind of looking into pretty strong scout civilizations here.
This is very interesting. It should make for an aggressive game overall. Not kind of sure exactly how this one's going to play out, because it is a super open map. What are you thinking? Both players are a good scout civ, so we think we're going to see a strong scout opening. Of course, it's really hard to wall off on a map like this, a map not designed for walls. Hopefully we see that aggressive side of things. They get in, manage to do some villager damage. We see him kind of poke and prod a little bit early, but what are you expecting to see here, mate?
Most of the time, as you know, and as you said, you cannot really wall there, so people tend to go downwards and get the big forests. But looking at Lierey's map, he needs to walk quite a bit to find a real forest for himself.
Interesting. Everything seems to be towards the back. I completely agree here. He's got nothing on the front he can really use. Extremely exposed golden stone towards the front of his base. And looks like he is kind of opting for that middle wood there. I think it looks like the bigger one around at the moment, so probably a good choice. And hopefully a little bit easier to defend as well, depending, of course, how he wants to place his mill and the rest of his buildings.
Yeah, that's actually one of the bigger forests on the small end. Is that kind of two together? It feels like, what's that, like 15 trees? That's actually something you can work with and only like transition in late feudal age. So I like that for Liereyy.
Always a good little win there. Looking at Vivi's map, he doesn't seem to be quite so lucky there, because I think I agree. He does look like he managed to get the two together, and I think just a little bit to the south of that one as well, he's got a second one where he can kind of put a lumber camp in the middle there. So that's going to be a pretty good early game win for him, whereas Vivi, just not so lucky right now. He does have one down towards the south of his little, I would say, plateau there. I think plateau is the correct word I'm looking for here.
His Acropolis.
But it does have Acropolis.
Isn't it?
In the term, definitely Acropolis in terms of the map. Is the plateau the high point? Is that the one I'm looking for? I'm not sure. Actually.
Plateau makes a lot of sense, but isn't like the Greek thing, the Acropolis, like on a hill, like building on a hill? Could we call that Acropolis? Or is the building itself called Acropolis?
I'm not sure. Chat, feel free to correct us there. That'd be really interesting just to know for history's sake. Awesome.
Okay.
So probably things to note. Vivi didn't move on to wood quite so early. In fact, he still hasn't actually thrown down a lumber camp. He's been using the straggler tree there as much as possible. Lumber camp actually coming down off the actual Acropolis itself. So gonna make things a little bit interesting on that part overall. And yeah, moving straight down off there. That could be his game going straight down there. What do you think?
Yeah, and that's kind of the pressure point number one at the moment. Luckily for him, it will be really tough for Liereyy to get a tower behind that wood line, because it's somewhat defensively. So I think he will build the barracks, will build the stable, has an easy wall towards the edge of the map. It's not that bad for him.
Not that... Oh, yeah, no, looking at it, you're right. It's got a lot of tiles in there, so I don't think we're too worried about that tower coming up, like you've said, but moving from there, I'm not exactly sure how he's going to be able to... I guess it puts him in a good location for later in game, right? He's going to need to put down the lumber camps less, so he's not spending too much resource there. It's going to be easy to defend, like you've said, so he can just walk down the small wall, put his barracks, put his stable in, and actually go towards his, I guess, hill there, I'll say, the lack of a better word for right now. But let's kind of see. Let's see how this goes.
Well, speaking of barracks, and speaking of kind of see how it goes, Liereyy indeed is building a barracks. So that looks to me like some militia aggression here. Oh, well, he didn't go on gold yet, so maybe that's some M&A aggression. Going for loom now. That looks like Pop 22 M&As to me.
This is a good thing to see. I've been seeing so much MMA recently, and it's... Man, those villagers getting in there, karate chopping, man-at-arms, the man-at-arms swinging back. This is what I like to see in games. And there's the gold villager as well for Liereyy. Looks like he will be getting nice and aggressive early on. Has he spotted that wood line? That's what I want to know. Hasn't spotted it, is doing a really good kind of, I guess, survey at the moment of what Vivi's up to over on his plateau there, but can't seem to find the lumber camp. So I think he knows something's up.
Yeah, and he scouts exactly for that. You see, he's not scouting on the plateau anymore. He went down, now scouts the wood line. And he has to be pretty sure that Vivi moved towards the area that he's scouting now. But might lose some precious time there, not getting the aggression in he wants to.
And that's the big thing. With a Drush or Man-at-Arms anyway, you really need to move in and get that damage early, because obviously the longer the game kind of goes, the more useless the Man-at-Arms become, especially once scouts are on the field, archers, skirmishers especially, because you can take them out without even taking any kind of damage, really, as soon as you're kind of into it. Moving out with his Drush now, and nearly Feudal Age, so it should hopefully pop into Man-at-Arms just as he starts his fighting, but Vivi, kind of having good game sense here overall, is getting the Palisades down around his lumber camp.
And that's pretty good against the M&A, but looking at Lierey's home base, he already has 3 on gold. That indicates a transition into archers for me, so we'll see M&A upgrade, some aggression, and then let's see how he defends off the second wave.
Alright, here we go. So scouts, like you said, for Vivi, Liereyy moving up into gold, so potentially going to drop those archery ranges, which is kind of what we're expecting here. The Man-at-Arms, or I should say the Militia at this point, Man-at-Arms very, very soon, just looking for a place to get in, do some damage. They're poking, they're prodding. It looks like the best option for him at this point is to kind of come in through the north of Vivi's base into those berry bushes. That's probably the best point I can kind of see there. What are you thinking?
Well, it's kind of tough. He scouted the whole area, but now he sees the woodline as well and probably wants to pressure that. Yeah, it would have been the option there to the berries, but let's pressure this area first.
Exactly, he's just got to get the damage on. He's getting some delay time here, like the villagers are being forced to build in a couple of palisades. There's only so many palisades they can build to actually defend themselves here. And the Man-at-Arms, of course, getting a small bonus versus the building, so we'll be able to take down those palisades if he wants to. But looks like we do have the Spearmen, a couple of scouts in here, so now it's about to become a little bit micro-intensive. Let's see what both players have got to bring to the table here. Scouts, of course, very, very on par with the Man-at-Arms. Obviously, of course, the Man-at-Arms not going to be as maneuverable, but that Spear doing a good job keeping those scouts away.
Indeed, and well, now a tough decision really for Liereyy. Where do you send your next Spearmen? You kind of want to have them at home if he raids you, but you kind of want to have them at the front as well, in case he engages at the front. So, tough to judge that, and now Lierey's moving out with some villagers, trying to get the extra wood that he didn't really scout yet.
Interesting, he's kind of moved ahead, which will hurt him overall, seeing some idle time on those villagers there. Does have a couple of spears going with him. There we go. Looks like we can see him finding a little bit of a wood there. Honestly, would be surprised if he doesn't go for this larger one.
Right at the deer. And 2 villagers going down, make that maybe 3, and they had combined over 100 food as well. And, well,
getting a single scout there, but not worth it. As Nilly has said, 100 food between those villages. That hurts, guys. We also saw a fantastic palisade gate and wall come down in defense for Vivi. Vivi might be in a good position here to kind of come into this one and make this a 1-all game.
Well, we will see. Now, archers going to the front, so the woodline would be in danger if it was not for the defensive tower. Vivi looks like he has a solid defense here.
Interesting. This is how the games are kind of made. All this poking, prodding, one villager here, one villager there. It's kind of what we want to see. Both players very, very on par in terms of the villager count. But there we go. We've got Vivi on top of the wood again, and there goes another villager.
Oh yeah, and he's microing this so well, fighting 1v1 there. Let's take a look. He already got one, will get a second one. Beautiful micro, not a lot of losses, even in HP regards.
This is how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. You get in, you do a little bit of damage, you get the hell out. Little attacks like this, guerrilla tactics. This is how games are won and lost. At the moment, we've got Vivi up by 3 villages already. We're only at the 15-minute mark. No real damage has been done, but we can see Liereyy putting on some pressure against this tower here with a couple of archers. Interesting. And there goes the villager.
And that gate is now down. The scouts not really taking good engagement. Archers still around. Amadeus, I believe that will be some more dead villagers. A lot of low HP villagers going to the front there as well.
Oh, this is bad. The tower's not going to come up by looks of things. Scouts coming in. They might be able to clean this up just in time, but the spear is in position. Are those scouts on stand ground?
A bit of an overextension there towards the TC, and therefore all cleared up. Those scouts were on stand ground indeed. That's kind of what you want to have if you attack villagers, but in that engagement, indeed, aggressive stance would have been better.
Oh man, that hurt seeing those 3 idols there. Did lose a couple of extras to the spears, but like you said, it is mopped up without too much damage. Couple of villagers down. The tower has gone up. Didn't get the deny there, but honestly, pretty decent overall. It's not a bad kill, not a bad one, but we are looking at a very, very even villager count with 34 apiece now.
Oh, but that could easily change. Let's take a look. 6 scouts moving in, 2 spearmen not really close together. I believe this could be a very tricky move here. First spearman getting 1 kill.
Getting 1, there goes the spearman though, potentially going to get the second spearman. Villagers moving across for Liereyy as well. There's the spear down, villagers in the battle right now. 4 scouts, 3 scouts. There's 1, 2 villagers down. Another scout down, potentially going to see a third go down. Oh, gonna get pushed out of there by the spear just in time.
Wow, that wasn't too bad, honestly. Not too bad, like losing...
Considering, yeah, we had those 6 scouts roll in. There was only 1, 2 spears defensively there. Kept it relatively well, but on the gold now, there's that scout getting karate chopped together. This is what I was saying about our MMA fights. This is what I like seeing.
Well, we need to talk about that in between games for sure as well, because I'm a big fan as well. And we'll get 2 kills and now running again. Karate chopped!
Mate, this is the best kind of guerrilla warfare I've seen in a long time. Literally just making such good use of those scouts now. Getting the damage where he can, the idle time is literally coming in, killing a villager, getting out. Killing a villager, getting out. It is perfect play. That said though, Liereyy has clicked that all-important Castle Age button already. Going to be quite a little bit ahead of Vivi there. How are we looking in terms of resources? Vivi's got nothing in the bank to get up there.
Oh, that's so sick. 9 villagers ahead is Mr. Vivi here. But again, Castle Age timing so much better for Liereyy with that Slav farm bonus.
Alright, this is what we need to do here. We're going to be able to use our favorite phrase in Age of Empires right now. Vivi is doing well. Liereyy needs to make something happen. This is his moment now. He's got a couple of archers in the back, managed to snag a single villager on the farms, which is honestly a good place to be in. The tower is up defensively for Vivi on basically his mill / his lumber there. So really, we kind of need to see him pull something out of the hat here. Crossbow, of course, can be an option. Scale barding coming down now as well, so potentially signaling in a night transition. What do you think?
Well, night transition makes a lot of sense. It's simply better to go for units that cost food, but well, first of all, we will see another raid here in the woodline. Spearman trying to get some, but those scouts, so good.
They have bloodlines now. They're up to that 65 HP. They are looking good. Another couple of villagers taking out those... the spears are going down. This is brutal to watch. I don't know if Lierey's going to have the economy to actually back up this castle play now.
Huh, well, we will see. Losing some on the wood, needs to go for some walls, and those scouts with bloodlines and +1 attack, they are just getting villager after villager.
This is game ending right now. 20 villagers ahead, 45 for Vivi, 25 for Liereyy, and of course count going down. We do have the knight in play there, but that's a lot of scouts that have done a lot of damage. Forging only just getting dropped for Liereyy here, and look at those villagers moving out now. They're putting up a tower aggressively. This is what we want to see from Vivi. He isn't even clawing his way back in the game. He's coming in like a hurricane.
Oh man, and well, those are 2 unprotected villagers. His scout alone could have killed them, but no, he wants to go for 8 villagers forward and really wants to make sure that this wood won't get taken again.
Oh, this is something else right now. Liereyy, what are you going to do? I think it's beyond making something happen at this point. He's lost his lumber source. He's gotten scouts throughout everything right now. I'm looking in the back there. The knight taking cleaning up a couple of those scouts, I should say. But the lumber's gone. The knights are out in play, but at the same time, looking in the back of Lierey's, in the back of Vivi's base, a couple of crossbows there. They don't even have bodkin yet, but looking good in terms of being able to kind of deny a couple of these farms and deny the gold. But look at it, what can he really accomplish from here? There's a tower there ready to defend all the villages.
Well, yeah, and he's trying to get more defensive towers up. The big problem is, Vivi can't really get into gold. You see him building a lot of towers, and, well, now, give me a spot where he can build a mining camp there.
From Vivi?
Yeah, at his main gold.
I would say his best location at the moment, looking at the map, would be on his Ford Tower against Lierey's wood.
Yeah, potentially, yeah. Okay.
Of course, it's a little bit open, a little bit easy to get aggressive against, but hopefully that tower is put in there just next to his gold. Yep, there we go. It's got enough range. It's going to clear up those crossbows very quickly.
Oh, still some HP left there, more than you can really fight down with villagers. Scout still active. Liereyy trying to go for some of its knights, now going fast sprinter as well. And villager difference, well, we were at like 22-ish, now we're at 12.
More scouts on stand ground on top of the plateau there, or getting close to. Man, this is becoming rough for Vivi again. If Liereyy manages to claw his way back here, I'm going to be pretty damn surprised. But he's got the second town center up, so he will be slowly taking the advantage in terms of villages. It will take a bit to build up, but he's already kind of taken that gap down to about 10. So good on that front. He's moving in with the knights, trying to make something happen, but called back home to defend his gold, losing another villager there. Oh.
So ugly over and over again for him, but indeed, 10 villagers, that's something he can work with, and he's in Castle Age, and he got into the woodline.
Yes, indeed, he's on top of that tower right now, doing the damage with the knights. Of course, at the moment, we do have no murder hole, so those knights can sit there all day and actually take down the tower. What other option did he have for wood besides his forward location? And it looks like that's all he's really using. A couple of knights on there as well, and it could completely shut down all of his lumber income.
Let's see about that. 4 spearmen now coming over, but the tower will go down before they can really fight there, or will it be? I think it will be a close one.
Oh, guys, this is the danger that we had for Vivi. He didn't click up, he hasn't clicked up, and really that extra town center is just powering through for Liereyy now. There's only a 2 villager difference. We've seen Liereyy been losing villagers all over the map. Vivi's been choosing some great engagements, but right now, Lierey's catching back up, and he's even. Dead even right now.
Dead even. One more to see, and already Castle Age. Yeah, he loses some more at the top there. Beautiful move by Vivi over and over again, but still, I think at the moment I have to favor Liereyy.
I agree. He's got those knights out in play. He's getting those kills. The knights, Castle Age versus Feudal Age, those knights have nothing to be scared of. Especially he's got the armor upgrade on them overall. He can get the second armor upgrade when he does feel like it. And then they're not going to be scared of towers. They're not going to be scared of town centers. They can kind of just move in, kill off some units where they want to, and just bail from there. So, man, this is... Oh, man, Vivi, you need to go castle, man.
Will be tricky for him. Well, he has 700 food, 500 gold now. Long distance mining his main gold there. That's pretty ugly. Now trying to find a place for the mark. Needs to go out to the edge of his base there. It just feels so bad with the placement of the buildings as well.
I know. Lierey's going for his third TC down towards the north there on the lumber as well. If he gets that up, he's going to start flying ahead. Again, we're back to villager even overall. Vivi finally clicking Castle Age, but man, is it going to be enough? We've got the knights out already wreaking havoc. Of course, if he gets a couple of town centers up, he'll be able to kind of go into even there, but I don't know. What are you thinking, Millie? Run me through your thoughts here. What are you kind of thinking we need to see from Vivi?
Oh, Vivi kind of knows, okay, I need to kill those villagers. The big question is, what can he really transition into? He knows that Liereyy will have some troubles when it comes to the woodline. So I want to see Vivi going for a Castle Age all-in attack towards that 3rd TC of Liereyy here.
That would be absolutely beautiful. You know what the thing is, though? It's possible, man. He's got 720 stone in the bank. He could come forward, he could drop that aggressive castle, and just get dangerous.
Oh, Liereyy. Oh, got snagged a villager there, but now Vivi walled this up quite nicely. Or did he? The house is actually not being finished, and villagers going down in the south woodline there. That's just sloppy by Vivi.
Man, the amount of quality fast walling we've been seeing in this tournament as well at the moment, you can't afford to not be fast walling effectively. This is the thing. Losing so many villagers there. He did lose one knight in the process, but end of the day, 1 knight, 3 villager trade. That's what you kind of want to see, especially when your opponent's stuck on 1 town center. Remember how, I would say, Vivi was up by about 20 villagers before? 59 for Liereyy, 45 for Vivi, 61 for Liereyy. This is how that extra population gain from the town center comes in. This is insane. Liereyy just clawing his way back in.
Oh man, and look at the amount of farms. That makes it so easy. Even going for some pikemen now. And he is just so well set up. More military, more villagers, more map control. This looks pretty good for our 16-year-old.
Alright, where is this castle coming down? Oh, have you seen that castle from Vivi? Gonna come down right on top of the plateau there, next to Lierey's main town. This is a game castle, but it should be spotted by the knight there. He knows this is coming. Oh, this is an all-in if I've ever seen one. You're getting what you wanted, Nilly.
Yeah, and that's like the big problem with that placement is you cannot wall your villagers.
You're right. I didn't even consider it.
I think. Oh well.
Oh no.
the army of Liereyy is somewhat out of position. But honestly, even if the castle goes up, yeah, he will lose a 3C, yeah, he will lose 10 farmers, but still, all control of his wood and gold. I think the castle placement should have been at the bottom.
This is rough. I'm not sure how much of a difference it's going to make. Is looking at the villager counts right now, 45 to 70. End of the day, if this castle goes up, I would say Liereyy could kind of ignore it. And I think that's what you're saying as well. He can just let the TC go, continue to spread out across the map, do the damage where he can, and just basically push this one. Because end of the day, that's 13 idle villagers right now for Vivi.
Absolutely, and well, now look at the villager difference. Liereyy just pulling ahead. Yeah, he deleted some farms. He knows that it will get somewhat risky for him at the start, but look at his raid in the back of the base of Vivi now with his knights.
There's knights just everywhere now. Vivi, his castle didn't even get contested. I guess that says something about the placement coming down. Chain biting on the way for Liereyy. These knights are about to not give a hell about any of these arrows. And the pikes, they're not going to care too much about either. Obviously not an efficient trade, but how once they've got those armor upgrades, they've got what they need. They've got their attack upgrades. Going to be in a good place to really do some damage here. Looks like Vivi committing to this fort at the moment, is chucking down an extra tower as well. But like we've said, Vivi just doesn't have the economy here to go toe-to-toe.
And I said like, oh, this castle isn't blocking any real resources. Yeah, but this tower is, so gonna love that continued aggression, now going for more stone. And he will continue to tower rush here, the typical 38-minute tower rush.
So standard. What's going on here? 400-point score basically in the favor of Liereyy right now. Looking at the caps overall, 46 villages for Vivi, 88 for Liereyy, 20 military on the field for Vivi, and 16 for Liereyy. Pretty much neck and neck here. I would say the only thing that's really separating them is that forward castle overall. But if Liereyy can clean this up, just get rid of some of the aggression, knock down the tower, there may as well have not been the forward. This is where I'm going to find a little bit of a damage, I guess, just not that we want to see. Man, I don't know how this can go at the moment. Looking at it, we need another good raid from Liereyy, and that honestly might be the GG kind of section here. I saw the 100 stone just get bought by Liereyy. Hopefully we should see a defensive tower come down, but there goes that tower. Those knights should be able to clean that one up nice and easy now.
Oh yeah, military superiority is just so much on the side for Liereyy here. And if we also think about, like, Vivi got a castle up, but what does it really help him when it comes to unit production? Those Magier Hussars, not that great. Just think about it, if he was like Mayans and can now go for Plumed Archers, that's a totally different level of efficiency.
Absolutely, mate, and that's a really good point to bring up. From this castle, all he's really kind of gained is a staging position. He can push out from here, he will have the small advantages because of the arrow fire, of course. Moving in with a couple of pikes now as well, but that's it. The Magier Hussar in this situation, I don't know how I feel about the castle play. If it was put in a better situation, just in a better location, I think it could have made a huge difference. But like we said, Ed went up uncontested. He just let the area go. He didn't care. That's the thing. He didn't lose a main gold. He didn't lose a woodline or anything. He can just survive it.
Okay, but you see, Vivi, he has a plan and he's continuing with it. Next tower, next wave of pikeman push. And, well, Liereyy, he needs to come up with something. He's now heavily on stone. At least his stone amount is somewhat climbing.
Oh, here come the monks. Look like we're seeing a little bit of a leapfrog action here from Vivi. Moving tower to tower, like you were saying. Getting a couple of monks behind it. They can always garrison the tower if they do need to. So they are well defended. Can get the converts there. But again, looking at the villager count, 52 for Vivi, 104 for Liereyy. He's doubled him. Going from a 20 villager negative in feudal age, he's doubled him. What is going down?
Well, Castle Age seems to be pretty strong compared to someone who only had 50 food when you reach Castle Age, right? And Liereyy just not taking a lot of losses. Constant villager production there. Beautiful eco. Got all the raids in. And suddenly, here's the one who just needs to play this game down.
I'm just looking at the pikes now. The bulk is out for Liereyy. He can go toe-to-toe with this. He's killing off the monks. It looks like he's starting to take the military lead at the moment as well. We're only seeing 8 military units on field for Vivi. We're up to 26 for Liereyy. This is looking bad. This is looking dire.
Yeah, and well, I can't really tell who really has map control here. It feels like Vivi's the guy who's pressuring more, but he doesn't have enough army to really stop Liereyy from expanding. He took the north, he took the south. Liereyy feels fine, although he has a castle in his face.
I think you're right there overall. I think that's probably what this castle did establish more than anything. Putting it forward, he not only gained a staging point, but it meant he controlled the map, I would say, up to there. If he kind of holds it around there, it means that Liereyy doesn't have that point to move out to. So he's constantly trying to defend here, which is nice, but at the same time, ooh, garrisoning up in that castle to take out the pikes, that was just a good move.
Oh yeah, and pikes under castles isn't the greatest thing ever. And look at how ballsy Liereyy was. He's sending villagers back to that TC towards the farms. Ambitious.
Ooh, this is... I'm just not sure. I feel like Vivi's in the better position overall military at the moment, because he's keeping that pressure on, like you were saying. But, end of the day, Lierey's just so far ahead in terms of eco at the moment. I'm sure at some point, Lierey's just going to come in like a hurricane here and just wipe the map. Look at it though, he's got some knights down towards the south near his TC there. He's got some knights defending up towards with some pikes, some rams coming out as well. He's got control of his own kind of section there. He's not too worried about damage coming in, but at the same time, can't move out.
Well, he is actually kind of moving out, right? It feels like he needs to defend, but, well, Vivi is simply lacking the siege. Just think about it, like 2 more mangonels, 2 more towers could do something, but Liereyy, he has 1.5k food now, 500 gold, enough stone for a defensive castle. I believe he is in a fine spot. Maybe gold control is the only real concern for him.
So at this point, do you think we're kind of waiting for him to go Imperial? He's nearly got the resources banked up to do it. We've got Light Cav on the way. So obviously, as soon as he hits that Imperial age, he can kind of go up into, I would say, there's Imperial right now. But he can jump up into Light Cav and just begin the raiding party, you know? Set some waypoints inside the base of Vivi and just run those guys in till he wins.
Oh man, and, well, we can see now the defensive castle here for Liereyy, and indeed... Well, the market prices were super good as well. Some more pikemen ratings. I love how Liereyy is playing this. Does exactly the needed amount to defend the center, going for the raids in the back, and well, Vivi, he's just smashing his head against the wall now.
Yeah, Lierey's done such a good job here. He's just built the units, like you were saying, the exact amount of units he needed to defend. It meant at the end of the day, he wasn't overcommitting. It's allowed him to get into Imperial Age earlier. 1 Treb, and that castle's down. We know that's how this play goes overall. He's defended the gold. He's defended the stone with that singular castle. There's not a lot that Vivi can really do to push into that now. I'm boggled here. I think Lierey's just going to be able to steamroll this one.
Well, I think my prediction will be this game will go 49 minutes, 53 seconds.
You reckon as soon as he hits that one, it's going to be the GG call?
Yeah,
Alright, guys, you saw it here. I'm going to say, I reckon it's going to hit until at least a couple of night raids. I reckon, because it's the last game, Vivi will try and sit in there, but I think the night raid's coming in right now. I think you've called it perfectly.
This is a best of 5, so we will play till someone has 3 wins here. Actually, in semifinals and finals, so far away from the last game.
Well, sorry, my mistake. I think this is going to be the one where he's going to try and push it because he doesn't want to fall behind.
Okay, let's do the drum roll.
Let me rephrase.
2 seconds. No, he's placed this out. Okay.
All right, give me that.
No, wait.
Star raid. That's
wait. Liereyy? He cancelled. Oh. We missed that the TC was killed, that he went inborn.
Woo, how did we miss that?
Oh! So he...
Now that is what we want to see. This is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen. Things like that, Shane. We are seeing a good raid from Vivi over here towards the top of the map, getting a couple of villages there. The bad news is Liereyy pushing in towards the base right now. He's got rams, he's got pikes, Light Cav is streaming across the map. You were so close in your call, man. So close. Just a couple of minutes later.
Oh, yeah, but I calculated with the imp timing. But, well, Liereyy didn't really calculate with losing his TC. I was, like, it didn't really feel too important because Liereyy was too hard in the lead, and so I didn't even bother to check. And I also thought Liereyy would never do such a mistake. But, well, he did.
Look at where we are, you know? Look at where we are. So that is game 2 in this best of 5. We have 2 wins in a row for Liereyy. This has to do something for your confidence, especially going down like that. Vivi was in such a good position there. Do you think this is going to kind of tilt him a little bit after going into, well, having a game like this where he was so far ahead, then falling back behind? What do you think?
this is like a very special kind of tournament also, because it's not like, okay, I lost the game, shame on me, but also like your whole team, your whole nation, in the case of Vivi, is watching your games. Like honestly, like they're superstars in China there. So like the pressure is so much on for them, more in like, for example, a normal 1v1 tournament.
So what you're saying, this is just rough. This is rough overall. Taking that 2 loss at the moment, going into the last game, it stings. It's going to make a little bit of that, I guess, it's going to make an impression on the next game. Even if Vivi's up, he's going to be worrying. Hopefully it means we don't see an overly safe play from him, but he still manages to push out, do a little bit of damage overall. I'm not sure. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not feeling confident for Vivi.
It will get tricky for him for sure. Now 3 wins in a row are necessary. Well, KD in the end was better for Vivi. Taking a look at the stats here. But the eco, that's a big difference. Look at that difference in the food count alone.
The other thing being as well, like between this, looking at the prize pool, remember third, fourth, $282. Second, $684. That's a big difference in terms of the prize money here in terms of what you make. If he wins, or the winner of this series is guaranteed that little bit of an extra kick in terms of prize money, like that's nice. And you go from 3 points to 4 overall for your team. And then, of course, if you win this one, you have the shot at $1,000, $1,008, 6 points for your team. Everyone wants to make it happen here. You've come so far. You don't want to get knocked out now.
No. Well, it is like the first of 14 small tournaments in this ECL format. So it's not like too bad. But obviously, like, so sweet. You have the higher seed. It's sometimes important in the drafting in the future. And obviously, like, it pushes your whole team to another level of motivation. If you just so, okay, guys, I can bring it in. The next 1v1 tournament, you better perform as well.
I'm definitely feeling concerned here. I think it's going to take a little bit too much of a toll on, I guess, the confidence right now. For Vivi, I think he's probably going to try and play too safe. And I'm worried that Lierey's just going to run away with it by doing something a little interesting, maybe going forward and really kind of capitalizing on that and just going for the early kill.
We'll see. Someone in the chat asking, how popular is AoE in China? Well, rumors had it that when we had Tyrant against SY finals, that the official channel had 200,000 viewers.
Popular. Let's say popular.
Like, it is somewhat bigger there, and there are a lot of people living off Age of Empires. I believe Viper, like the first day he streamed, he had like 12k viewers. Like new channel first day. So that's solid numbers.
Awesome. Let's get into the next game. See what we've got going on here. Towards the top of the map, we are in the Escape Champions League semi-final. Currently 2-0. Liereyy leading the way here. He is playing in the green towards the north of the map as the Mongols. And I believe we are in Valley looking at the map.
That looks indeed like Valley for everyone who doesn't know this. Mongols are so strong, and that's why Vivi in the blue picked it as well. You have some beautiful deer close by, can go on to those beautiful boars in the center. Maybe even some shorefish there. And we will see a lot of scouts from our 2 players here.
Towards the south of the map, we do have Vivi playing in the blue. Also Mongol, so Mongol a Mongol war, I should say, overall. Nearly absolutely correct. Heaps and heaps of deer towards the center of the map. They've got those extra boars. I'm not surprised at all. We saw a double Mongol pick here.
Are there actually extra boars? I said it, but it feels like they might be just the normal ones, right? I counted and it feels like they have 2 boars each. Only difference here is that we have the cows instead of sheep having 150 instead of 100 food.
Always a nice sign to see cows in general, because I think on this guy, is it random if you get cows or sheep off the top of my head?
I think Valley always has cows.
All right, cool. Trying to remember. I know there was something there originally. Could be wrong, of course, but 150 food on those guys there. Going to give you a big win overall. A little bit more to find, a little bit more worth it. So if you do lose a cow, will hurt you a bit significantly, but overall, we're seeing a little bit of a deer lure here from Liereyy already, making use of that Mongol bonus as much as possible. And I wonder how much luring we're going to see here, and I wonder if players are going to kind of commit to that a little bit more than getting aggressive. But like I was saying, this is the perfect map to really kind of move forward, because if you do move forward, you get all those beautiful deer in the center, like you were saying. However, it's looking like we could see I don't want to say easy, but wall-off options are there for Vivi. What are you thinking?
Well, wall-off obviously means your enemy can take the center control. But also, he has to protect his villagers in the center. So it is a very tricky spot here. I played this map quite a bit since it was part of the qualification stage here. And it kind of felt people agreed on pushing some deer and then not going for the middle. So wall-off, in the end, might be better than you initially thought. Oh, blocking his own villager here. But Vivi is getting home.
Interesting. But yeah, I agree. It looks like we've already got that forward house out for Vivi. Going to be able to go for that one. And looks like we've got another forward villager as well. What's he kind of going for here? He's moving forward onto the deer already. There we go. He's not playing safe.
He is not playing safe, and at the same time, we see Liereyy, he is building his mill towards his berries, pushing some more deer. One deer is even going back, so small hiccup there, and that's safe versus aggressive. What do you prefer?
On this map, like I said, I really like it when players get aggressive, because it does mean if you get aggressive early and your opponent walls off, like you were saying, you gain that big advantage of map control so early. The extra deer in the center, as Mongols, invaluable to have. That just bumps your scout production. It can bump your castle age time quite significantly. And we're already seeing the full wall off from Liereyy go through. He's managing to wall that east side of his map off to his gold here. The only thing I'm worried about a little bit there is if we do see archers from Vivi later on in the game, he will be able to pressure that gold. But saying that, next to his mill, he's actually got a secondary gold there as well. He can defend quite easily, because it looks like that, yeah, towards the west side of the map, that tree line extends all the way to the edge of the map.
Oh yeah, that's pretty fortunate for him. Did not find two of his cows there. And it feels both players going pop 18 here. Is Vivi playing this without loom? Oh, tricky boy.
Here we go. No loom whatsoever on those villagers. Throwing down the barracks at the center. Yeah, boy. The barracks coming down at home for Liereyy as well. Hopefully we'll be able to defend it. But both going up already, nice and early. This is it. This is what we wanted to see. This is how you get back in the game.
Oh, well, yeah. It is taking risks for sure. Now 3 aggressive villagers here for Liereyy, both trying to take the engagement in the center. 3 more HP for Liereyy. 2 second feudal age advantage for Vivi, just in case they continue to fight.
There we go, though. That should be the spot. Liereyy should have seen the forward barracks there overall, so he knows what's kind of coming now. He's got most of his wall off done. It'll be interesting to see if he kind of bumps his wall off there. But Lierey's coming towards the front now as well. He's managing to get his... Well, I'm guessing he's going to put his own mill up. This is going to be interesting. It looks like, man, Vivi has just dunked his balls in brass right now. Going down with the stable on the front. And no loom fighting the scouts. Oh, this is going to give me a heart attack. I'm so happy we don't have cameras on, because I think you're going to see my soul leave my body in this game.
Well, it was a 9 HP scout, so not having loom wasn't the worst thing. And now he's going for loom. Let's take a look. Scout against scout. And the first kill here for Vivi. Now spearman production has to come in from both players as well.
This is what we're kind of expecting to see. Both players going for a spearman. Stable going down for both players, of course, as Mongols with that food advantage. Not even expected really anything different here. But like I said, we've seen this forward from Vivi. If this gets shut down, this is going to hit him right in the confidence, which is not what we want to see.
Well, Liereyy is playing it more safe. Vivi is playing it more aggressively, but soon he needs to start thinking about where does he want to build his second mill, does he want to go back. Liereyy is now going for the aggression, 2 spearmen against 2 spearmen, no one really winning at the moment.
Ooh, we can see Vivi trying to lame the deer there, getting shut down pretty quickly. Some good play actually there by Liereyy trying to get as many of those deer as he can at the moment to prevent the lame, but really Vivi just going for it here. He is having a no game. Like we said, he is down 2-0 right now in terms of the game. This is not only just for points right now, not for the prize money. If he doesn't get a game, he wants to at least get some kind of pride in here. If he gets 1 game, not going to feel so bad.
Yeah, probably. Oh, let's take a look. Scout engagement here. Another good one for Liereyy at the moment. Still only 1 kill, although we see units running around for quite some time now. This feels super even. Both players going for still some deer. A lot of spearmen kissing each other in the center.
Doing that tickle with the spears there against each other. Still 3-on-3. I have no doubt we'll kind of see some extra units come out, but we've got some scouts in the base right now of Vivi. Losing one there under the town center. A little bit of extra damage on that second one. Did manage to delay that lumber a little bit, but really not enough there overall. Does still have the berries quite open, but he has been pushed away from a lot of that deer in the center, and it looks like Vivi is starting to take map control.
Indeed, 7 military against 4. Obviously, that's a good sign that you can go for some aggression. Now it fights off that one spearman, stand ground for him, gets 1 kill though. But at the moment, Vivi looks in somewhat of the control.
I would say at the moment he does have the map control. He's managing to push Liereyy off the berries now. The single spear, of course, can be able to come in. There is some low HP scouts there as well, so could lose those quite quickly. But it looks like the lumber in the back there, wide open, no spear defending it. Ugh.
And again, that looks like game 2 to me. Scouts running in, Liereyy trying to fight this off with villagers, but will also have some losses. Oh no, he did not.
Interesting. Good play there from Liereyy overall. Still poking and prodding around Vivi's base as well. The wall in on the lumber line there going to be very helpful overall. And, oh, there we go. The scout attacking the house. That's going to be a freebie.
That's kind of sloppy by Liereyy, right? He already lost 2.5 scouts in the 2C there. That's something we normally don't see from him. Is he getting overconfident here, or is that... What could be the reason for that?
Like I was saying between games, I guess, we did have that kind of psychological effect there on Vivi, obviously, where he could be getting a little bit less confident, but at the moment, maybe Liereyy, absolutely, overconfidence may be key right now. He's fighting scouts with villagers, uphill as well. He just lost 2 towards the center there, and some good micro from Vivi is going to ensure he doesn't lose anything here, really.
Absolutely, and he's 2 villages ahead, all the control still. And Liereyy pushed away from the center. Vivi will have the deer. I believe Vivi is, for the first time, in a real big lead in the series.
I agree. This is good. This is really good play from him. He's denying that gold as much as possible. Obviously, doesn't have enough scouts to get in there and push the spearman away. Archery range is getting thrown down for Liereyy though, so it's starting to look like he wants to make his transition. Doesn't have a whole heap of food in the bank though, so I don't think we're going to be seeing a super early castle time from him. As for Vivi as well, nothing really in the bank, but does have control of those deer in the center, and that's a massive push of scouts coming in from him as well.
Oh, trying to fight down spearman after spearman. This one has 6 HP only. Goes for the archer defense. Oh, Liereyy, it's so important that those walls at the right hand side hold. Otherwise, his wood line could be in some real danger as well.
Absolutely. The other thing being as well, he needs to be careful he doesn't overchop that wood line towards the front as well. Does have a tree with 58 and a tree with 48 there. Just needs to keep the control up on those guys. Make sure they don't kind of wander too far. But as long as he holds his walls, like you're saying, he's pretty well defended. Especially now he's got the archery ranges, the blacksmith up on the front. This is kind of what I was expecting to see from him, in all honesty. And a little bit of extra palisade coming up there as well. I think he's going to be fully walled in and should be pretty safe from here. So do you think Vivi, at this stage, should kind of ease up on the military, just use it to hold map control and go for an earlier castle time? Or do you think he should start trying to power through those walls and get some pressure on?
Tough decision. At the moment, it feels Lierey's defense could just be too easy. And look at how good his map is. He is completely walled now, has defensive stone, defensive gold, even another defensive gold in the very north that he scouted. So he has to feel safe against all the aggression, and you can see it. He's even moving out.
That's it. If he needs to, he can just pull back. He hasn't walled himself into a corner. He's got heaps of room to expand to. We're seeing Wheelbarrow just come down now from Vivi, but the more important one being Bloodlines from Liereyy. So he's going to have those extra HP on the scouts. Going to be able to soak up a little bit more damage. And it looks like we could potentially see a good spear engagement here, but the archers do pop out and they will deter them.
Indeed, and well, archers need to be focused down. A lot of microing on. That's so tough to see. Some villagers in the action. Archers going down. Ah, BBQTurkman, what's going on?
Those spears did a lot of damage there, but at the end of the day, Vivi will clean this up. Oh, we do see the scouts managing to do a little bit of damage there, but getting cleaned up, but at the same time had some good engagements there.
And suddenly, Vivi ahead in villagers. Let's take a look. I believe we have Wheelbarrow here for Mr. Vivi. But on the other side, Liereyy. Let's take a look at him. I think no wheelbarrow for him. So villager count somewhat even. I would say Liereyy like 1 ahead at the moment. And now aggressive towers.
That's exactly what I'm looking at the moment too. That aggressive tower might be the answer to our question of what he wants to do. I don't think he wants to sit passively here. And getting dangerously close to the overtrop on that tree, like I was talking about, down to 18 wood on that. If he just lets that go, it might actually happen.
Well, the tower will go up for sure. The big problem is Vivi still going for full feudal age attack, a bit low on gold, but no blacksmith out of him. And archers, they desperately need that fletching upgrade.
They do indeed. The big thing I'm kind of worried about now, though, wheelbarrow going down for Liereyy. He's just about got the resources to go up to Castle Age. Are we going to see a repeat of the second game? There's the overchop, by the way, just next to the barracks.
Oh yeah, well that's not too important because the center is open anyways. But yeah, the tower obviously will prevent some walling behind that. At the moment, Liereyy trying to hold this off. He has 600 food and lacking some gold. At the other side, Vivi, he is going for another feudal age all in here. Still without... Oh no, now he has fletching.
Now we have fletching, excellent. We have seen the delay in the time of the castle there from Liereyy, just because he has been forced into a couple more skirmishes. Did he build a couple of extra scouts up behind this? Honestly, yeah, there we go. So a couple of extra scouts as well, I think. So looking decent overall, but as long as, well, I guess Vivi keeps the pressure on here, he can potentially stop that Castle Age aggression coming in. There goes the scale barding. Liereyy being, like I said, just pushed back into his little hidey hole there, taking wood at the back now, not feeling so stressed.
It feels sloppy by Liereyy that he's not building a defensive tower. Would make it so much easier. He sees army after army coming in. He sees more towers. It's just an easy defensive tower there at the gold, and he would have been so much more secure.
Interesting. I completely agree there, man. Really good call, actually. One defensive tower could have saved that entire area. Losing those farms, the scouts are managing to make their way in now. And like you were saying, actually, that middle section there actually being the big issue. Padded archer armor coming down. We're seeing bloodlines as well. So really doing a great job in terms of getting the tech up. But there's the wall off. A good quick wall there from Liereyy overall. Liereyy doing some amazing quick walls in this series thus far, actually. Forcing past the town center, and looks like he's going to notice just in time and get around there. But here we go. Repeat of game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. Castle Age for Liereyy already.
And it's actually a repeat of game 1 and 2, right? Finally, he's building the defensive tower. But yeah, he is up to Castle Age. In the meanwhile, Vivi is just going crazy. Continuing with towers. Has all the upgrades on his scouts except forging. And he needs to make something happen now. But I believe the tower will go up.
That's it. Once this tower is up, the area is pretty secured from there. The scouts are not able to get on top of the skirmishers and archers, and that's it. He's going to push back. If Liereyy holds here, this could be the big decision overall in terms of how this game goes. We can see the aggressive tower again coming down from Vivi, but is it going to be enough?
It feels like Liereyy, well, he needs to build more archery ranges now, I believe, right? Oh, he might lose those. What can Vivi really do with his army? Now trying to find another angle running around. But, well, Liereyy has just shown how good he is with those quick walls. Intense game again.
Yeah, interesting. This is what I wanted to see from Vivi. I didn't want to see him wall up and go defensive because Lierey's overall just standard play, pretty next level. It's great over there. So I should say Vivi, sorry. Really needing to make that happen. Looks like he's going to push towards that, I guess, eastern wall there. Could potentially push through there, get into the lumber in the back. Could potentially push those away with archers, skirmishers. Same goes for the lumber up in the north. Interesting fact, though, we did have Vivi actually taking some shorefish there.
Well, it is the fastest food, so that's pretty sweet for him. Let's take a look. Defensive house, villagers, even going back. 70 more HP there. And Liereyy, crossbowman, and Botkin arrow. But, well, how many archers does he have?
Archers down the field, I'm counting 4, probably 5 archers in total.
Okay.
He's in a good defensive spot here, but it's only skirmishers, so the scouts can clean that up. Getting the crossbows in behind that, going to push that away. And there comes up the town center. That Liereyy play we've been waiting for. He's going to boom up in villages, and we'll see how it goes. Currently, there is an 11 villager point lead towards Vivi, but that's what we've seen. That's how the games have gone thus far.
And now the defensive TC here for Liereyy. But the Stranglehold is on. Vivi is still controlling 2 of the gold spots. Will stay aggressively there. Let's take a look if the tower goes up and how many archers he will lose. Tricky move.
Ooh. Is it gonna go? It should just go up in time, unless he manages to get that. There's one villager kill. 96,
Oh!
97. Oh!
Oh, 98 HP there, but loses all his army in exchange. I'm not sure if that was really what he desperately needed. 3 villagers down, but
taking
losing
out the
all
archers.
the skirms. Yeah, taking out a lot of archers, but losing all his skirms there. Huh.
Rough. I agree. Denied the tower, but at what cost? At what cost?
Okay, villager basically even now. So small advantage there for Liereyy, I would say. And look at that, 3rd archery range here from Vivi. So even adding some more scouts. What is that army choice? Interesting.
Man, interesting. The 3rd town center getting thrown down for Liereyy as well. So it looks like he's just going to kind of turtle up behind this. Use a couple of crossbows combined with those town centers to just deny any kind of push. And move from there. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Crossbowmen and Bodkin, of course, on the way for Vivi. Whereas we've got Bowsaw and Padded on the way. There's light cavalry as well, actually, from Vivi. Interesting. Really wants to make something happen here.
Oh, and he could get some kills. Stone is exposed. We have the wood exposed. Nice quick wall over there. Let's take a look into the gold. Some archers are trying to come over. Light calves, I believe they will not get the kills. Oh, if only at map packs.
Ooh, here comes that town center. Might deny the town center, however. Oh, that's gonna deny it there for a little bit. It looks like he might potentially lose one. So fighting with the villagers actually, and next to no deny there as well. An awesome play by Liereyy, noticing time. Managing to pull those guys away. Gonna be able to garrison that town center. Did lose 2 villagers on the lumber line there. In fact, 3. You know, could have been worse. Could have been worse.
Look at the other side. Vivi actually walled in that tower gem from Vivi there, now building a defensive siege workshop. So that's buying him some more time as well. The light calf still annoying. Villager counts somewhat even. Scores neck and neck.
I think that siege workshop's going to be just an absolute wonder for him here, because we are seeing quite a few crossbows out from Vivi. 1 mangonel, some town centers, a couple of crossbows, and he can hold this, and we can see exactly what's been happening the entire guys overall, exactly what you were talking about. He can hold behind this, build the exact amount of units he needs to kind of defend with, then get his ups, get up into Imperial if he wants to, and really push that tech advantage home. Have we seen any extra town centers from Vivi, or is he all-inning this? Cavalry archers! Yeah, boy! This is what we want to see.
Cavalry archers. I always say, since we have Rise of Archers, they are underproduced. They got cheaper, they're so mobile, damage output is absolutely reasonable for such a nice unit. And I feel Mongols, a great choice. Look at the stone amount of Vivi as well.
Again, here comes that castle. Where's he dropping it? That's what I want to know. And it's over on that eastern side on the main gold next to the siege workshop. With that mangonel there, that might be a dangerous placement. It looks like he's getting a siege workshop of his own up. So he's going to be able to kind of get the mangonel to defend. But the crossbows are going to be in position here to deny this. 1 villager on that castle, 2 mangonels.
Oh yeah, that could have been so bad for sure, but didn't really happen. Well, we go down to 300 HP here, but now the rest of the villagers are coming. CA not getting the greatest engagement there. That's a very choky area, something you don't want to really fight with against mangonels.
Actually being pushed off that castle as well, only 850 HP on it. This is big. He could have denied it. He must be waiting for the extra mangonel to, just so he can get that. He's going to deny that watchtower there. He's got the ready to rebuild those mangonels if they do need it. Cavalry archers pushing forward, rebuilding this. That castle's down at 530 HP.
Oh, if he focused that down, I think it could get tricky. Now killing his own villager, doing some damage against the other mangonels. I think if Liereyy just tried to commit on that, he could have gotten the castle, at least the cancel there. Gets a nice shot off against the villagers, but I believe castle will go up, mangonel just too good on the hill for Vivi there.
Yeah, with the units here, we are seeing it should be easily defendable. We are seeing it 54, 55%. Getting a couple of villager kills though, the mangonel and a good attack ground, but that hill bonus just really paying off now. And needs to rebuild on that mangonel, not going to get it in time.
Spearman actually!
The castle there.
Spearman running around and killing the mangonel. What did we see, man? Oh, okay.
Wow.
And those 2 villagers will finish the castle. 4 more coming over to help, and I absolutely love this game. Tower still up, crossbowmen now coming around, and well, this won't be walled in time for Liereyy.
Alright, we've got crossbows towards the eastern side there coming in, killing villagers. We've got light cav in the north, sadly on stand ground, but they're going to do the best they can. We've got that castle coming up on the east as well. Vivi really getting aggressive here, but like we said, 74 villagers compared to 60, so Liereyy is an advantage. He can stand to lose a couple here, but end of the day, I don't know exactly what Liereyy can do to combat this. He's got the defensive mangonel out roaming around those TCs, does have the defensive castle up, but losing villagers left, right, and center.
Huh, tricky spot. Well, he has still a solid amount of, I would say, like 4k gold left to mine. So he doesn't need to desperately think about that. Can build a second castle, so he is somewhat safe. But in the long run, Vivi kind of has the stranglehold onto Liereyy.
Absolutely, at this point, he's just got to kind of poke and prod, do the damage where he can, just be a nuisance. That's what he needs to do. Be a nuisance, get the villager kills where they can, keep that map control, because look at him. He's actually got buildings the entire way around at the moment. He's completely kind of walled him in with towers, so he can see exactly what he tries to do. Double mangonel working towards that TC, so this could pay off. This could really pay off.
Okay, Liereyy now up to Imperial Age, and, well, he's going in with a back TC this time. And let's see, Mangonel Micro. That's just so tough for Vivi. He always needs to watch. Liereyy can decide on. Whoa, that's a good start for Vivi.
Good mangonel hit, that's for sure. But with that Imperial Age, he's got that defensive castle. One mangonel here could actually kind of make a difference against the amount of cavalry archers, the amount of archers on. One trebuchet will force the engagement as well. So if he has that trebuchet sitting between the castle, between the town centers, gets the crossbows on it to defend, might be a little bit of an issue for Vivi, but we're not there yet. That's the thing.
And Mongol's War, you said it, traps make such a difference. If you snipe the castles of your enemy and he cannot go for the elite Mangudai, but you can, you are in a pretty spot.
Man, that Mangudai production's on the way. Imperial's there. You've nailed it, Nearly. Those elite Mangudai, they make such a difference. We got to see them against, I think it was the ACM. They just wreaked havoc. It'll be interesting to see if we're in the same place.
CA, raids coming in at the left-hand side will snag some villagers. Mangonel still staying active at the front, but Liereyy with the advantage there. Defending with Mangonel is just so much easier. Mangonel production from both players. Oh, this is still a very tricky one. Liereyy didn't really decide on where he wants to build his second castle.
Ooh, gets the Mangonel kill there against two knights. Did sacrifice one of his units, but hey, Mangonel kills against knights are always nice. Liereyy going down with another defensive castle here on his main gold and his, I guess, western woodline as well. Making sure he's kind of spread out enough that he's not going to get strangled for resources. But there's the Imperial. We've got Bracer coming down. Do you think we're going to see an early or a late attack from Liereyy? Is he going to try and push that, I guess, tech advantage as much as he's got? Or will he kind of sit back and mass up?
Well, he kind of needs to push that area, right? We said he's somewhat out of gold. Oh god, Vivi now with horse color and gold mining. But yeah, I think mass trap is the first step, and then adjust from there, trying to see on how many mango dice your enemy can still go on to.
Alright, there's the trebuchet. I think it's going to be sitting just behind the town center there, like we were expecting. Gonna have the coverage of the town center, gonna have the coverage of the castle, the crossbows, the mangadai. He should be able to get to work on it. Of course, this could push a treb war from Vivi as soon as he kind of gets to Imperial, but depending how this goes, I don't know if he's going to be able to get in there and do the damage.
Okay, Vivi, what is he up to? He has has enough stone for another castle. I think this one has to be defensive, and yeah, he's building it quite defensively. I love that. He needs to go for safe production, and uh-oh, look! His mango dice, they're up to no good, and I think they will get a lot of kills. No reaction from Liereyy yet.
Oh, this is rough. In the back, this could be it. That is the entire north face of his resources. You've got 2 lumber camps, you've got 2 golds. Oh, this is rough. Ballistics on the way down for Vivi as well. He's going to get the kills. This is a massacre.
Oh, and Liereyy, well, he's just wasting a lot of his mango dice then as well. So many villagers will go down there. This is just so good for Vivi, and that's what he absolutely needed. No army coming over. Oh god, Liereyy losing his crossbowmen at the front. I believe this could be the game-changing or even the game-finishing move here. What a beautiful aggression from Vivi.
We've seen a massive change in the villager count overall. We are down to 76 villagers. 92 for Vivi, taking that lead there overall. The Mangadai, like you said, is getting thrown away in small groups right now. This could be the comeback that Vivi really needs here. This will help with his confidence. It's going to help Liereyy as well overall, just hopefully settle down in terms of his confidence here. 3 trebuchets out. He has taken down the castle from Vivi, but there's another one back home, and man, those Mangadai are just on a rampage. Trying to get a university up to block them, but oh man, this is rough.
Yeah, well, nice block off, but still 6 villagers lost their life in exchange here. Well, it is good that he's getting some kills there with the elite Mangodais, but still, numbers not too great. Vivi, now with a 30 villager advantage here, and might even get some of the Mangonel kills here against the traps.
That's what I want to see. 2 of those trebs are down as well. Vivi in a great position. Managed to save one of his trebs on the front line there as well. Can still go to town. Mangadai in the back finally cleaned up by the Liereyy there. That was just too long to allow it to go on.
Oh, and what a sloppy play from Liereyy, not walling the right hand side. He knew that he was still open there, did get the raids earlier, defended those nicely, but then the second wave just so nice from Vivi, and he just is going for mass skirmishes now. The perfect counter against Liereyy, who does still have very little gold left. Look at that, only 1k gold for him left.
You're on point there, Millie. You are just on point. Those skirmishes, they may not be able to keep up with the Mangadai overall in terms of the speed, but if you're the one attacking, they don't need to keep up with the Mangadai. The Mangadai are going to have to fight them.
Oh man, tricky, and that's not really the spot Liereyy wants to go for, and that's why he's switching into some Hazards himself, but no upgrades on those. You see the first defense upgrade, now only the light cav upgrade. Ay, tricky situation. 2 castles now for Vivi. Score still somewhat close.
Those Mangadai are up to elite though for Liereyy. I can't remember if we did see elite out for Vivi yet. Looks like they're going to try and move out, try and make something happen, potentially do a little bit of a sneaky push like we did see Vivi do against Liereyy there, taking out a bunch of villagers. This is brutal though right now. I've got Rams moving in. As we know, Rams are really a game ender. You only use them if you're ready to defend them. With those skirmishes, it means that we are going to have to see Liereyy push into this. He can't just kind of sit back and try and defend now.
Well, he needs to send something to defend. Those Mangodais, maybe they can do some damage now on the other side. Obviously, lots of damage output, incredible mobility, but running into the first TC, he really does not want to lose a single Mangodai there, and he does not get some kills, is going back, but skirms, I think they should be able to defend this.
Interesting. We're still looking at a big villager difference for Vivi overall. I've got 83 for Liereyy, 104 for Vivi. Military count, though, we're looking at 19 for Liereyy and 40 military out on the field right now for Vivi. He's in a good situation. Like you were saying, so minimal upgrades on those light cav right now. They're not really even going to stand up to the elite skirmishes too much. Chain Barding on the way now. But look at that. We got chemistry coming out for Vivi. He's in his late game researches here. He knows what's up. And that castle being replaced there on the eastern side.
I still like the army composition of Liereyy. Light cav, now with +2 and elite Mangodais against castle edge Mangodais and skirmishes. That feels like an engagement could be okay for Liereyy. He's trying to go for it, but loses his castle down to 1. Let's take a look. This engagement, if it goes in Vivi's favor, it could be game ending.
That's it. Mangadai coming in from the south as well. Gonna get a little bit of a pincer going on here. The Mangadai taking out the light cav quite effectively, so the Mangonels gonna be... Oh, no Mangonels as well. I thought he had a Mangonel there, but this could be game ending overall right now.
Well, gets a trap there, but so many Mangodais going down. This feels like Vivi finally is on the scoreboard here, sniping down all the elite Mangodais. Liereyy staying there to type the GG. What a great game to witness.
That was fantastic. Exactly what we wanted to see. The big worry was that Vivi would play defensively, not really go for much there, and just let Liereyy get ahead if they played normally. But this is it. He pushed forward early. He got the damage, and he risked it. He dunked those balls in brass, like I was saying. He went forward with no loom. Drush, what is that kind of play overall? This has been great. This is what we want to see, and it's the reason we're here today.
Oh, yeah. And, well, I'm happy for Vivi for sure. And, well, and that's like 3 games of potentially nearly math 15, and I'm already enjoying life here. What a great series so far. Oh, just so happy to be here.
This is why we're here, man. This is why we're here. These kind of plays, these kind of games. At the end of the day, there's a lot on the line with this one. It's securing points for your team. The further you get, the bigger cash settlement you get essentially for winning a game overall. But more importantly, Vivi's back in the game. It's at 1-2, Lierey's way, of course. But at the same time, this will do heaps for his confidence. He basically went toe-to-toe with Liereyy there, did something highly aggressive. It paid off. Hopefully that's going to push it a little bit more overall. And man, I'm just excited to see what we see in the next game. Hopefully it means we're not going to see an overconfident play from Liereyy, but at the same time, let's see a good confident play from Vivi. Get in there, push it, because it's proving that the aggressive play really does work for him.
Absolutely. And well, I will need a small 2-minute break. Then we will be back with game number 4, Liereyy against Vivi. Don't go anywhere. Okay, casters on the main channel are taking a small 2-minute break as well. Oh, that's just so sweet, and the level is as high as we were hoping for.
This is good. This has been great. This is like exactly what I like to see. It's been quick. It's been nice overall. What do we want? We want more Aussie slang overall in the chat. Hey, maybe we'll do an Aussie slang introduction and see how that goes. I don't know. So 2 minutes on there. Be right back. Excellent. I've just said in the chat anything they would like to kind of see, because at the end of the day, I guess this is a little bit of a warm-up for us for the Escape channel as well. Anything you guys would kind of like to hear us talk less about, more about during the cast that we can kind of help you out with overall? Because you do have one of the best player casters here at the moment, nearly. His opinions at the moment are the ones that count. So anything you would kind of like to hear? Do you want more of that analytical style? Do you want us to focus on the game more? Hit us up. What do you kind of want? Hit us in the chat, guys.
That's really a sign of how professional we have grown with the casters as well. You saw like Killer B taking endless amounts of like preparation before a series, Zach taking coaching from Dogao, we have T90 hitting me up and asking like, okay, how can I improve on this and that? You are so open for feedback, and that really shows like how serious the casters have become when it comes to entertaining and how professional we have gotten. I'm really happy to be a part of that movement.
I still remember, I think it was one of the first streams we ever saw from Age of Empires. I believe it was you and Dreams off the top of my head, and that was still one of my favorite series I go back and watch. I don't care that it was like when was that? That was probably about 6 years ago now, I reckon. And that was phenomenal.
I'd say 2010 or 2011-ish.
Man, that is when I kind of realized how many people were out there, how many people love this game. And that's where we kind of moved towards.
Yeah, we had that's just sick. I remember those. Like we streamed on like 480p, and
Those were the ones.
Oh god, and it was the best of 21 down against Chris. That was so sick.
Those were the days.
Nah.
All right, let's have a look at what we've got here, ladies and gentlemen. We are in game number 4 now of the Escape Champions League semi-final. We are currently at a 2-1 Lierey's way overall. Towards the north of the map in the blue, we do have Vivi playing as the Slavs. We are on Scandinavia by the looks of things.
It looks like it. And on the left-hand side, we have the Italians for Mr. Liereyy. And I fear a bit that this could be the last game of series. So, do you want to introduce both players again, Aussie style?
Aussie style? All right, mates, towards the top of the map in the corner there, we have lots of fishes in the top. We have Vivi. Vivi playing as the... He's going to be our guy. Towards the south of the map, we do have, of course, Liereyy playing as the Itties. Always a good one to have there. Again, lots of fishies along the side. Not sure exactly how he's going to play this one out. Bet looks at Deers there moving forward.
Oh, man. Do you know Aussie Man? The YouTube channel?
Aussie Man?
Yeah.
Mate, he represents our country so well, and I'm not even angry by it.
Like, I'm subscribed to, like, 3... non-Age of Empires channel on YouTube. I have like I'm subscribed to like 20. It's like one my favorite like music label and Aussie Man. Oh, he's so fun. Oh, and how he always says like, oh, this Sheila's going to like that. Oh god.
And the worst bit is that's a terminology we use to refer to like animals in general. Like, he's not even exaggerating on half of that. That's how it is.
Oh god, he's so fun.
The thing is, though, a fake Aussie accent sounds like a real Aussie accent. Until you've met, like, a true bogan at the pub, you don't know what that's like. But I'm telling you right now, it happens.
Ask Turkman if he knows bogan Aussie.
Bogan Aussie? Man, like, this is my life. I live this, like, regularly. Alright, I guess we should probably have a little bit... Basically, just... Oh, man... So I'm trying to explain how to kind of talk about a bogan. Have you ever heard the term bogan before?
No.
It's basically, I would say, I don't want to sound offensive here, but generally it's, I don't want to say like a lower class, but a less well-spoken Aussie is kind of how I would say it. Okay. And at the same time, they like the pub, they like the pokies, they like cars. That's probably the easiest way to put it into, I would say, kind of terms. And that's an entire, I would say, subgroup of people we see here.
Okay, so the rednecks of the Aussies.
That is perfect. They are our version of the redneck.
Okay, so let's see a bit at the map. So we have Liereyy. Now, what is he doing with his dog? Oh, he misgrouped. He built this dog. The first villager was scared away because he didn't have loom. And now the second one, pretty late there as well. Liereyy, well, that's somewhat of a sloppy start, but Italians still so incredibly strong. If I had to ask you, what's the stronger civ, Italians or Slavs?
This is a really hard one overall. I really like the Italians on this map in general, but end of the day, I'm actually not sure who I'd kind of go for. I mean, Italians, the best thing is their fishing ship cost, of course. So you're going to be able to expand the eco out there overall. But Slavs, I really, really like them aggressively. That's the thing. Farmers, I don't think are going to be quite too much of an issue on this map, just because we do have so many fishing ships. So I think eco-wise, I might say the bonuses towards the Italians. If Vivi can get up into the Castle Age though and start pushing with Scout, really get the Scouts, start getting the pressure on with a couple of like mangonels, things like that as well, that's where I'd say the advantage comes to him. What do you think?
Well, also like the faster up or like the cheaper up clicks for Italians is something I want to mention as well. The big problems now for Liereyy though, he already lost his scout and is now going for some crazy walls that are not including his deer and his gold because he had so little map vision. Yeah, just all civ speculation aside, I believe, Vivi, just with the big information advantage here.
This is rough. I agree. The walls away is putting him in at the moment. He doesn't even have much room to kind of fall back on. Like I was saying, like this is looking a lot further ahead, obviously. But if I would say Vivi can get map control, once the mangonel gets dropped, it's an issue. And it looks like we can actually see that villager coming from the north there. Gonna try and push in. The good news is that entire tree lines there is gonna kind of mean he can't put a dock down nice and sneaky. But it looks like he's gonna bang into him now as well.
Vivi with that sneaky villager, he tried to build a sneaky dock. Oh, and now look at that, the snow should show him that villagers were running there. Is he see? Oh, he's not seeing it. Vivi, he could have seen that villagers went to the north. Ay, ay, ay.
Interesting. The snow really does help in this kind of aspect as well. We can see Liereyy moving towards the north side there, going to be able to get a dock of his own down. Potentially just a couple of fire ships, clean out everything that we've seen there from Vivi. Not really much of a difference overall in terms of the feudal time. 15 seconds does make a huge difference, but at the end of the day, it means that fire ship will be out a little bit early. And again, that villager just at the moment from Vivi, trying to find somewhere to really put that dock down, but that woodline's doing wonders for Liereyy right now.
Yeah, will be a sneaky tower instead, I believe. Vivi's trying to go with an aggressive barracks, but was out there quite late. We see Liereyy with the sneaky dock at the other side. He was more successful with that sneak, although there were even wolves. So lucky for him.
This is interesting at this point. I'm not sure who I put it down to. I like the fact that Vivi's got map control, but he hasn't been able to put down the aggressive dock, whereas Liereyy has, so he should be able to kill off those fishing ship nice and quickly. From there as well, the walls from Liereyy, quite defensive in terms of the layout, does have his goal towards the north of the map there, and looks like he's even going up with his house/palisade wall towards the eastern front. So he could actually be in a good defensive position, but like you were saying, the lack of scouting information is where I'm really, really worried about it.
Yeah, and the lack of land units. He's only now building his barracks. Yeah, he has nice defensive stone, but that will be blocked by the sneaky tower as well. And suddenly, -2 gold spots, -2 stone spots. He has such an open map. I like Vivi's position again.
I agree. Vivi's done a really good job. He's skipped scouts as well, so moving straight to skirmishes. So he can fire over those walls. He can get aggressive on the wood line there. He can kind of push away from the wall off if it happens, but looks like it's going to go up. And interesting. There's the deny of the wood line in the back there. And Lierey's wood line towards that southern side as well, going to be denied by the skirmishers. This is really good. This is really, really good.
And Liereyy needs to run. Let's take a look. He will take some snacks there against the villagers. 2 down at the left-hand side. Some either at the right-hand side, trying to build a defensive tower. I think that one should go up, but so much idle time.
Liereyy just looking like he's in a bad spot here. He's lost that main gold, and that's going to hurt overall. Not sure exactly where he's going to go from here. If he gets that tower up, it's going to be good to be able to defend those 2 golds. But we've got some skirmishes there. We've got some villagers. It looks like the scout coming up as well. Tower's going to go up, but at the same time, those skirmishers can just walk around it, essentially. They're not too worried by the tower fire as is, unless it's loaded up entirely.
Oh, and Liereyy just so good, anticipating the move here, getting the fire galley at his own base. He killed everything at Vivi's base, so that's a good start for Liereyy when it comes to the water control. But still, that defensive tower is somewhat questionable, and Vivi still with the aggression.
Yeah. Liereyy doing a good job trying to defend his dock as best as possible here. Of course, the cheaper fishing ships, I mean, he can replen them if he does want to. But with the dock there from Vivi, going to be a little bit dangerous to do so. Not sure exactly what his plan is. Did manage to keep one of the fishing ships there alive. So I guess the big thing as well, even though it doesn't look like he has much of an economy going on at the moment, he's still got that fishing ship there. They're equal in terms of villages, and if he does decide to get more fishing ships out, can actually get up in terms of the economy quite easily.
Oh god, that was such a weird ball over here by Liereyy. Oh goddy. And, well, not the greatest positioning. If you showed me, like, if you give me one screenshot of that TC with that ball, archery range, and barracks placement, and let me guess what rating this player had.
I have screenshotted it already.
I'm not sure if it
I'm going to whack it straight on Twitter, and we'll see what happens.
I'm not sure if I would have said 4 digits.
Alright, it looks like we do have... There we go. We've got Liereyy getting onto that dock there, so it looks like he does want to try and reclaim the water. Extra fishing ships on the way out now, and it looks like he does have some on the opposed side as well. So he will have the entire fish economy there on his side. So potentially could see quite a few scouts out, just because of that extra food income. And from there, it can be quite easy to actually clean up these skirmishes.
We'll see. The more towers go up, the trickier it will be. Another weird mill by Liereyy here. Somewhere in no man's land, farms even being blocked by his own house. Is he trying to get a market up? Yes, he was rushing the mill to get a market up. Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So he wants to get more towers.
Really interesting, actually.
Hmm.
There you go, so buy a little bit of stone, go from there, so obviously that tower towards the western front there is going to deny the main stone he had there. With the wall off he's got, not really going to be able to push out, and of course we do see that Vivi is in a good position there. He's got the barracks, he's got the archery range right on top of the stone, mining some from there as well, so going to push it across.
Oh, buying some wood first, so no towers from him, and those villagers idle again. Vivi, aggression after aggression, every single game. This time it felt Liereyy didn't really see it coming.
This is absolutely great. Vivi's been so aggressive here, and he's done a great job at pushing it. He's denying that wood towards the southern front there. He's denied the wood on the western. All he needs to do is get some villages, or I guess a tower up here towards the north, wood and gold, and he's going to be starving him completely out. All he's going to really have access to is food at that point, and I don't know if it's going to be enough. He doesn't even have a stable up to kind of deal with the skirmishes. What do you think he can do to get out of this situation now?
Well, first things first, look at the map vision of Vivi here. He does not see that gold and the wood line. Oh god, so defensive tower or aggressive tower over there, not really the thing Vivi is thinking about, simply because he doesn't know that it exists.
I'm a little bit worried overhaul, just because I guess Vivi has to know these resources are coming from somewhere. But if he doesn't get onto it too quickly, that's where the damage could be. Liereyy does have, well, he did have quite a bit of resource in the bank there. Obviously going pretty overboard on the gold, just so he can buy some extra stone to get the towers up. Does have a defensive tower on that wood line and the gold there, so can defend it. But we've got, yep, there we go. Vivi moving up towards the north now, going to be able to scout this out, and he knows this is where he's going to be able to pressure from now on.
But Scum's not too great of sitting under a tower. Let's take a look how he can position himself. Some of them miss-microed. Well, he will get some villager kills, will stay annoying. But, that's not really what he needs to finish the game off. Liereyy, still somewhat in it. 4 villagers behind, 5 fishing ship ahead.
I wouldn't say he's in a great position, but I completely agree. Still in it. That's the thing. He's not going to die from just this overall. He's got 2 lumber camps on the southern side now as well, so 1 behind overall. He's got a gold access there if he does want it. Is a little bit open, but he does have that tower there to defend. The extra lumber camp coming up as well. Does have the fish advantage towards that northern front like we were talking about. Vivi has taken back the southern water by looks of it with a couple of fire ships. The advantage is definitely towards Vivi, but I'm not sure exactly what he can kind of do here to pressure. Obviously, he's got that southern lumber camp there, but the question is, where's he going to push in and where can he kind of make those hits? And that's it. It's the tower in the north there. We've seen the tower absolutely get just rushed up at the moment from Liereyy, but that's going to delay it. That's the thing. And there's the skirmishes coming in as well.
Well, they won't really get a villager, but that's simply so many idols here. And Vivi's eco simply not looking too great. The tower, let's take a look, trying to attack some of those villagers, and a lot of them already low HP.
Ooh, this is what we want to see. It's pushing him off the lumber there. There's another villager down over that north style. The south at the moment as well. Looks like he's found it. He is putting a tower up. He is putting some archers in there. A lot of those villagers are low HP as well. Hopefully he doesn't decide to fight with them. A scout is there too, so going to be able to do some bulk damage. There's 1 villager down. We're going to see another one go down. Come on, man. Get that scout in there. Why is it just idling?
Oh, man. Stand ground seems to be his standard there, but 3 villagers down, more low HP. I feel like it has to be Liereyy with like a 4 minute earlier castle age timing again. Otherwise, the comeback will be so tough for him.
Well, this is a map as well that I have found in this series, the Escape Channel anyway. It's been really hard to come back on Scandinavia. Once you kind of get pushed back and you lose map control, the other players seem to run away with it very, very quickly. And I have a feeling that's exactly what's going to happen here overall. How are we looking in terms of resources? Vivi doing a good job kind of keeping it down. The villagers at the moment, though, look at them. They're scattered everywhere. They're on low HP. I think we might be seeing a 2-2 here. This could be a decision.
Look at that as well. 31 villagers, 17 of them idle, more of them dying. Those farms completely shut down. Oh god, he's starting to see still no real farms over there. More villagers going down, and Liereyy. Uh-oh.
There we go. There we go. I'm a little bit in shock here on how that went. I guess Liereyy losing his scout so early forcing those kind of walls up towards his town center there so early, I would say the lack of map control might have killed him. That's insane.
That the scout. We have to say it. It has to be the scout, and I felt like going double dock there just makes you so vulnerable. And then obviously he had the defensive woodline and the defensive stone, and miraculously there was a villager building a tower there to block both. That was super unlucky for him as well.
That's the thing. Even with that unlucky, we did see that massive win there in the woodline for Liereyy, so it actually denied that counter dog very quickly. But even with that in the issue, man, that was a really good play overall. It was just solid. He was committing where he needed to commit. He was doing the damage where he needed to do the damage. He wasn't over-committing, but he was getting the right places. He was finding the resource locations, setting up behind him, and he literally just starved Liereyy out of the game. This has gone to a decider. It went from a 2-0 to a 2-2.
And we honestly didn't predict that, right? After 2 games, it just felt like Liereyy, even if he's behind, he somehow made it happen. And the first game was just so clear Liereyy victory. The second one was the Acropolis game where we thought like, hallelujah, how did he come back there? But he played so well. And suddenly, well, game number 5.
So I guess the question is, do you think Liereyy has gotten overconfident with this? He had 2 good straight wins there at the start. Do you think that's affected the way he's playing here? And he's playing it a little bit too safe, like I was saying early on.
I'm not sure if it's like too confident, right? Especially the last game wasn't really too confident. The other game, like game number 3, he was even playing it a bit too passively, if you ask me. Or maybe like the aggression of Vivi actually paid off. So I feel Liereyy is playing a standard game, kind of. Unfortunate game 4, and pretty aggressive and strong game 3. And, well, that Mangodai rate in game 3. Hallelujah.
So, if that's the case, do you think that Vivi's really just pulling out the unexpected moves, and that's where he's starting to really kind of get in the aggressive stylings, the unexpected moves that he's kind of going for? You know, we saw the loom forward. Do you think that's kind of throwing Liereyy a little bit there as well?
That's tough. I think like Liereyy is someone who gets upset with himself, but plays kind of the same. He's like someone who could really like insult himself or like kind of like give himself some slaps in the face for some misplays. But I feel like the play is still absolutely top notch.
So you think going into this 2-2, he's just come back, I guess, been defeated 2 in a row to get back there. Do you think that he's going to be a little bit worried then and lose out on a little bit of his confidence? Or like you were saying there, do you think that he's going to, settle down, take a minute, settle down, figure out kind of what he wants to do, and then go from there?
I think he will play his normal A game.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe think about, okay, sloppy scout loss. I lost that game. Game number 3 was a close one as well. Just wall of the right-hand side, and he's saved there. So it's just play your A game. Make sure to be safe and play a normal heads-up game, and then he should be in a good spot.
Interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are in semi-final decider. It is 2 apiece here. In the green, we do have Liereyy playing as the Chinese, and it looks like, are we on cross with double TC?
The map is called Budapest. Indeed.
That is too.
The map is somewhat played like this, and interesting choice by Mr. Vivi here, going for the Spanish. Chinese, obviously, you're spawning not only with 3 more villagers, but this time 6 more villagers, both spawning with 2 scouts, and this is an interesting map for sure. Distances aren't that long, so Conquistadors actually quite strong.
This is going to be really, really good for Liereyy, actually. That extra villager head start right now, putting him in, I would say, an awesome place overall. Going to start getting a couple of sheep in there nice and early, so he's not so worried about losing out his villager production. This is looking good for him, I would say.
We'll see. It feels like 3 villagers ahead only is Liereyy at the moment. Obviously, it is a tricky spot, and the transition into the docks. that's always the questionable things. How many dogs do you want to build? You don't really want to build more than 2 dogs, but it's also nice to have some fishing ship working for you. But with 2 TCs, fishing ship are less efficient again. So this map, honestly, not figured out even by the top experts yet.
Interesting. I'm reading in the chat as well that AM have actually been practicing this map quite a bit. So potentially Chinese could be a choice by him, a strategic choice is the way he's kind of been playing a lot of. Being able to kind of find this is a civ he does the best with overall. Did see a little bit of a scout engagement there in the center, so we can see, oh, really good actually overall there in terms for, what are we seeing? A little bit low HP on there for the Spanish player Vivi in the blue, but I don't know, this could be interesting because 2 scouts as well means you can do some big villager harass early in the game.
Yeah, but like it's impossible to have both TCs running at the start, so you produce 2 villagers in both TCs and then loom in the other one, so harassment, yeah, it is some options, but I believe we will only see it in the feudal age when the scouts have +2 attack.
Yeah, good stuff there, man. Really good analysis, actually. And looking at the map as well, there is a single hill towards the north of Liereyy South TC there. 3 golds, 1 stone on a hill with a gold and a stone on the other side. That's a prime location.
And some deer as well, and it looks like Vivi is trying to go for that location indeed, so that center seems to be key, and whoever controls that hill should be in a good spot to control the whole game.
Hills, of course, a massive bonus in Age of Empires. For anyone that's kind of joining us that hasn't played a lot of, any unit towards the top of the hill will be doing 25% damage to anything lower. Hopefully the squares Nearly's got on there so the tiles can show you nice and easy wherever it's standing. Units at the bottom of the hill will actually be doing 25 less damage, or 25% less damage to things firing up as well. So the hill's actually a really big advantage, but there's the wall off going down for Liereyy as well.
And I think I would have loved to see the Wolof more towards the berries there. He's given up on 1 gold spot, not really a lot of control over his stone there, and I believe if we get into the late game, having some extra stone with Chinese could have been something to work with.
Yeah, the extra stone never hurt, especially with such a just strong, unique unit overall. So to put that out before, not sure how much of a difference it's going to make, and I think it's going to come down to how long the game actually goes.
Well, we will see about that. It feels a bit like you're sometimes cutting out, my friend. Well, pop 35 here for Liereyy, so that's still like roughly the 3 villager advantage. He has a bit more of food, so should transition into Castle Age a bit better.
Alright, I've just pulled down some programs, so hopefully that should remove the cutouts for you. Let me know if it's still bad, and of course we'll adjust from there. But there's Feudal Age from Liereyy, moving up, expected feudal time of 9:25. That's a good early time overall. Did have the 2 town centers. Overall, our players on both massive pops. Having the dual town center start, really, really strong in terms of getting up nice and early. We can see a 37 up for Liereyy, and then we're only on 34 villages, or 35 now for Vivi, so really good play overall.
Yeah, and that's only 200 food, and the problem that he lost a villager against the boar. Some strategic question. Liereyy went for the gold in the center there. That was the gold that could be raided most easily, so don't you think going for the back gold could have been an option?
Absolutely an option. I think he might be committing here to being, well, an aggressive play, because he's got that barracks going up at the front as well. Can obviously put the stable down if he wants to, so he can start raiding those center deer. And I think he might be figuring the wall off across the center here, so he can kind of keep that gold defended there, and really try and keep that entire section in towards his win.
Oh, let's see about that. First militia out, and soon to have the scouts with +2 attack here as well. Vivi's trying to get those walls up. Liereyy trying to prevent that. Whoa, tough spot. Vivi still didn't click up yet.
Interesting, straight into the archery range from Liereyy as well. Wants to deny this wall off in the center, getting a lot of idle time here. Laming as many of the deer as he can as well. The militia getting out. We've got double bit on the way down. Spearman coming out as well, so trying to deny the second archery range in the back as well there. Yeah, Liereyy wants to get aggressive here. He wants to take these deer away. He wants to take the center control. He is not risking anything against Vivi this time. He wants to get in there and do the damage.
Oh man, and the damage he is doing indeed. 3 losses already for Vivi. Could maybe go for more. Archers will come out there. I don't really see Vivi defending this too nicely. He has a lot of map control, did build a dock, so that's nice for him. But still, that will be a lot of aggression through that area that we called so important earlier.
Absolutely. And the fact he's already transitioned to the double range is going to have the resources to back this up thanks to the 2-town center start. Overall, we don't even have Vivi in feudal age yet. The extra scouts, there we go, moving in, trying to get the damage. With the archers, should be able to push through that palisade very, very quickly. Yet to see if the dock's going to make much of a difference for Vivi there. Obviously, with the villagers lost, going to really help out overall just to make up the difference, but going to be committing a lot of wood there, so we might actually... he's only got one, so I don't think it should be too bad. But there we go, being forced away from the middle and onto his berries back towards his town center.
Well, I think defensive castle, and then he should be somewhat fine. He already is on stone, so it indeed will be the transition towards the conquistadors. Let's see if Liereyy has a solid castle age timing behind this. It looks okay if we just look at the amount of farms he already has.
Yeah, Lierey's been really on top of his castle age timing pretty much all tournament thus far. I believe he's pretty much been the first one, especially in this series, to castle age, I would say, every game, yeah?
Yeah, I think so as well.
So hopefully we should see a strong play from him. Obviously as well, with a Spanish player like Vivi at the moment, the goal is to get those conquistadors out. A castle here in the center could obviously put him down quite well. That tower will deny any kind of push against the palisade. But we are seeing a little bit more, just, I would say, poking and prodding from Liereyy at the moment. Hopefully the committed resources aren't going to stop his castle age timing too much. But he's already got 510 food in the bank. He's got 56 gold in the bank. If he just cuts, I would say, archer production there for a minute, he's going to be able to get up quite quickly. But at the same time, can't risk not having enough of an army out to fight those conks while they start coming. Because, you know, 2-3 conks, that's enough to do some serious villager eco damage.
Absolutely. Those conks, I believe, will more see like a stalemate fight towards the center, though. Vivi is heavily stonewalling all areas. Absolutely love that. Except the one in the center. That indicates to me we will see an aggressive castle in the center of the map.
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more there. I think it's the right play to make. It's the right way to push out. And man, this is interesting. This is really interesting. Did lose a villager there towards his mill at the top north side of the map there, those archers. We are seeing a castle age from both of them. Going to be 17 seconds behind Liereyy there. Both players getting their eco ups now, so it looks like they did focus on moving towards that castle nice and quickly. But interesting to see how this one kind of goes now. I guess we're not going to see a castle from Liereyy. He's not on stone. He's not taking that resources. Long distance gold mining there towards his north town center. Looks like he's going to hopefully, yep, there we go. Mining camp getting thrown down. I guess he's banking on having enough archers to deal with the conks kind of as soon as they come out. How are we looking for the stone count of Vivi?
400 for now, we'll easily get that, but, well, we see all those villagers at the left-hand side getting stone, but what we also see is a transporter being ready to send 5 archers over and potentially deny all that income. Defensive dock there of Vivi coming up, but won't be in time.
This is smart play, very smart play from Liereyy. Like I said, it's about, at the moment, it's about making things happen. And if you look across at, he's got nothing there to defend. He's banking on getting the conks out. I'm not sure what he's going to be able to do here against this. He's going to have to get some military buildings out, because I don't think he's even gone military buildings. What have we got from Vivi to defend this?
Well, he's trying to wall this off, then somewhere getting his castle up. I believe he's still trying to get the castle in the center up. Yes, he is. So that's his favorite spot, but oh god, that will leave him so open against raids.
That's it. He's going to need to get that conk count up nice and early. We can already see Crossbow Bodkin already on the way down for Liereyy. He needs to get those conks out. He needs like 3 or 4 scattered across the map so he can start defending with them. The good news is for Liereyy here, being so aggressive with these archers, soon to be crossbows, he's going to get himself a little bit of extra time to be able to defend from these conks.
Well, at the moment, he's kind of having all those at the left-hand side. Defensive Siege Workshop already coming out as well, so the crossbowmen, even with Lierey's micro, I believe it's just a too choky map to really advance from here. Military count though, 17-1, but the castle up in the center.
The castle's going to make that important difference there as well. We'll take out that tower, of course, very, very quickly. If he can push out from there and deny these golds in the center, going to be a really good place there, of course, for Vivi. The good news is for Liereyy, though, he does have that back gold that is spotted much earlier. Does, in fact, already have villagers there ready to go. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes with this. Is he still building crossbows? Is he going for just a mass crossbow play? It looks like he is.
Indeed he is, and that's just so clever by him here. Realizing, okay, those crossbowmen won't do anything. Let's quickly get them home, and he will lose a single crossbow and a lot of reaction force there from Vivi. Beautiful move of Liereyy, not losing a lot of his crossbows.
Yeah, this is exactly the kind of level of play we're here to see. It's making these split-second decisions that kind of give you that little advantage, better defensive edge. We have actually got the Monk out by Liereyy as well, so could potentially be going for some converts on those conks, and that might be his answer to them. I guess the point is right now, Vivi's walled off his entire base. With those TCs the way he's got them there, the 2 that he started with, he's actually got a pretty good defensive layout. Did actually get a 3rd TC up towards the north of his castle as well. So going to defend that gold nice and easy, and it's a really good staging point on that castle there. Just going to have to be very, very careful overall that he doesn't, I guess, slip behind in terms of the defense overall and lose that castle. But end of the day, Liereyy on his way up to Imp already.
Indeed, and on the other side we have Vivi with only 40 food here, so he is miles away from that, and Arbalest will just perform so well against the Mangonel Conquistador push here. So Vivi needs to make some damage within the next, I would say, 1.5 to 2 minutes.
Exactly, if he pushes in against, denies the stone, denies the gold, gets a couple of villagers, pushes again against the TC. We have seen the double monastery go down as well. Redemption on the way, so potentially looking for some good converts here. There's the conks doing that damage we were worried about, killing off those villagers so quickly. And whoa, that militia finally getting blown down. One good hit. Oh, those mangonels on the hill are so dangerous.
Oh god, yeah, and that was really playing with fire here with Liereyy. Let's take a look. Well, we'll eat some shots. That's still somewhat okay for Vivi, but he needs to do more damage. Oh god, those monks with redemption, losing them, super costly.
Oh, absolutely, the fact he's gone double monastery, didn't get a single convert from what I saw there as well. This is rough. Liereyy, you need to hold out, man. Town back golds there, so like we were saying, can actually retreat to that. Send some villagers back to the forward gold. This is rough. Gonna lose them to the Mangonels, of course. Another villager down, and here come the Mangonels. Another 2, 1 on low health. Ugh.
Oh, that's just the story of all games, right? Better eco for Vivi after heavy raids, but Liereyy with the tech advantage going up to the next age. Well, first conversion finally here. And now we have Vivi going for the push. He has a lot of upgrades there. Bloodlines +2. He needs to kill those crossbowmen before they become Arbalest.
That's it, he's chasing them down now. Potentially could garrison in the TC here if he does want to defend them. Trying to get the kills there, but Bracer Arbalest on the way, like you mentioned, has got 4 Mangonels in the base at the moment.
Well,
So got 2, but lost the monk in the process.
Okay, after this game we need to restart Discord for you, my friend, because you're still sometimes cutting out, but that was a lot of conversions for sure. Arbalest now going ham. 20 villagers advantage here for Vivi, and he is building another very aggressive castle. Going to love that.
Oh, I absolutely love this. This is what we want to see here. Let me close a couple extra programs just in case that helps us out.
I think it's more like voice activation. You should be a bit closer to the microphone or something like that. Let's take a look. And well, conversions were real, but now military count 12 to 12 kind of, and that's good for the player with the better eco. Both have low count. Arbalest now against the hill, against Mangonels. This is tricky. Oh, the monk gets a conversion against those villagers here. Could get some kills.
That castle, this is rough. We've got the conks in the economy killing off those monks as they spawn. Mangonels denying all that kind of push that we can see from the Arbalest over. And gets the repairs in there as well, but does go down. Castle on that front, that aggressive castle push. This is looking fantastic right now for Vivi. This is an amazing push. He's done such a good job here.
But only 12 villagers ahead now. Let's take a look. He could still snipe those 3 villagers down, right-clicking them. And, well, Arbalest trying to micro, but now under a castle.
This is it, man. We do have the castle up on the front there. Got the Mangonel behind it. The conks in the eco in the back. Look at this. Liereyy is just getting torn to shreds.
Oh god, and that is so sexy here. How Vivi is playing this out. He knows he has the aggression. He knew the castle would go up, and instantly going with his conks. And Lierey's eco is just in shambles.
Look at all those archeries getting thrown up in the back. The villagers just getting massacred at this point. I'm watching the villager count drop. 68 villagers, 67 compared to 93 from Vivi. This has been amazing play thus far. Absolutely amazing play. Those conks just in the eco absolutely wrecking it. It looks like the early game is paying off there for Vivi. He didn't worry about going to eco. He banked it all on conks, and it looks like this trade is paying off.
Oh, what a beautiful, beautiful play. And Conquistadors again moving in, and Liereyy has to GG after being 2-0 ahead. Vivi is allowing himself the comeback, and he takes a series 3-2 instead.
What did we even see here, ladies and gentlemen? That was a 2-0 to a 3-2 win. This is it. This is why these players are here. They're here to do damage, what they can. This is fantastic.
Oh man, and how did this really happen? Like, Liereyy had more villagers, was up faster, had all the tech advantages. It feels like no conversions was really painful, and building all those archers and not getting any real villager kills, right? The house was up there, the palisades, and all the crossbowmen landed around. They didn't do the damage either.
Vivi, he just didn't take any damage from anything. Obviously, we saw Vivi kind of commit to that damage early on. He built the, towards the front there. He built the double archery straight away, tried to get those units out, and he just couldn't get the damage. He couldn't get the payback on terms of those resources that he needed, that he invested.
Oh man. What do you think? Maybe, 15 more Avalists instead of monks with sanctity and redemption?
That's the thing. There was so many mangonels on the field that I understand going for the monks, obviously, but at the end of the day, they were just getting sniped by the Kongs so damn quickly.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, surprisingly, he got some conversions there against the mangonels. Let's go over to the stats, and oh boy, look at that KD.
That's what we were expecting kind of to see there.
Yeah, in the end, so many villagers going down as well. Mangonel shots were solid, and, well, conversions don't really count there as well. In the end, Vivi with 24 more villagers as well.
I was not expecting that upset. After that kind of lead